Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
They're planning on having a presidential candidates debate this week. The one thing you can be 100% sure of is it will be a lot of things. But presidential ain't one of them. I hear Vegas is giving odds on whether one candidate dies on stage and one is taken away in handcuffs for not honoring his RCA record club 10 albums for a penny contract in 1973. But don't worry, these two beacons of hope and wisdom are still here for you. And you're welcome, America. This is Dave and Juan.
And 3,
Number 2.
1.
Woohoo!
America on this first presidential debate week.
Damn.
There is no debate between Juan and I. You are
You're welcome, man.
welcome, America. Man, listen. Yeah, trust me, this will be far less cringy than what's coming our way this week. I'm sure. And hi everybody. How are you? I'm Dave,
I'm Juan.
and this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Yes, thank you. What we are referring to. So if you're watching this before, I believe it's Thursday, the 27th, the first, I'm going to guess only, presidential debate, although there will be nothing presidential about it. I mean, like, you're going to have the guy they tell us is the current president. Well, he's got the title. They don't want to tell us who's running everything, but the guy with the title is supposedly going to be on stage against the last guy that had. It's almost like a.
I can't. The whole thing for me is if Biden shows up and doesn't die or fall asleep, he'll be declared the victor.
Well, they're far more likely to kill him this week with everything they're pumping him full of.
Yeah.
Because that's that. Here's the deal. It's bizarro world because even. I think even a lot of the Dems kind of do a wink and nod, and so leading into this debate, which I am not 100% sure is going to happen. Something tells me that they're going to try to figure out a way. I think they're gauging it this week to see, like, okay, is it possible? Can we get the cocktail of Adderall and Lord knows what else into him? Can we get the chemistry right to try to thread that needle for a 2-hour window?
And it's got to be not just a 2-hour, it's got to be the right 2-hour window.
Correct. Oh, exactly. They got to adjust his sleep patterns. So I guess in a way it's almost a hat tip to President Biden if he can survive this week, because they are going, man, he is. Remember the movie Wolverine when they turned him, all it took to take what it took to turn him into the Wolverine, they put him in stuff, and it was really, that's pretty much what they're doing this week to Biden. So that's
I'm excited to have something else going on Thursday evening.
Well,
tonight, so I'm not tempted.
Yeah, I will not.
I'm sure I'll listen to it in clips.
I'm not going to watch. I may clip back and forth. And you know what I'll probably do? And this is actually a very enjoyable way. Those of you that don't want to do the cringe is go to Twitter, or now they call it X, and just continuously update for the comments, whoever you follow, because that way you can follow without having to just watch how depressing it is. That this is what we have. And look, whatever side you fall on, what gets me about, again, we're kind of head first into political stuff here, but yeah, one of the upsides, I think, is that both sides are coming to the point of understanding, okay, this is an existential election, and none of us are happy about any of it.
No.
It's like nobody's very positive about what's going to happen. How's it going to happen? Trump, did you see this? And I mean, I thought it was a joke. It could not possibly be true, but it is true. He is, I will give him credit for this. He has not changed an iota in with the stuff going on. He at a speech to, who's he talking to here? He was speaking to a crowd of conservative Christians at a Faith and Freedom Coalition in D.C. Okay. And I don't know that that crowd would be especially a big UFC. Maybe they are. Maybe they are a big Ultimate Fighter. But Trump says, hang on, he's quoting now. I'm going to quote it. Yes, he told the crowd that he said to Dana White, who's the head of the UFC, Dana, I have an idea. Why don't you set up a migrant division and have your regular league fighters? Anyway, then you basically have the league of the migrant, the winner of the migrant league fight the champion of like UFC. I mean, he's literally just
off the top of
audience, off the top of his head saying, you know what, all these criminals we have coming over here across the border, let's let them have a fight off and get their ultimate fighter. And let's put that. And I'm reading that thinking, in what world, dude, do you think that's, but hey,
in the world we live in, man,
you know, but best I can tell, he knew where the stage was, how to get off the stage.
You mean he wasn't a victim of cheap fakes?
Cheap fakes. That's a new thing, yo. That's God. That is hysterical. Now, well, it's 1984. It is absolutely the book of 1984. We are being told, do not believe your eyes. Do not. Now, don't get me wrong. Hey, look. Yeah, you can find stuff online all the time that's just obviously like, yeah, okay. And some of it's funny. I like when they take AI generated voices that sound like somebody and just have these hysterical, profane, like press conferences, stuff like that. And that's funny. It's obviously a joke, but you're going to tell me that, something that was seen on multiple,
right. Well, if it's fake, show me the real one.
Yeah. Or
pretty straightforward, dude. Just show me the real one.
It is broadcast live on a few channels, and you saying what, that just all mad, but that's well, they also tried to tell us that when Biden plagiarized Reagan's was it D-Day Normandy?
Oh yeah, the Normandy speech.
Yeah, the Cabbage Patch, whatever her name is, came out and she does. She actually, I think she's an attractive young lady, assuming that's what she identifies as. I mean, but she's no, I think she's I don't have any. I do not like anything she says. I don't believe, but she's an attractive young lady. But she said that he didn't plagiarize. He copied.
Wow, exactly, man. See, she should have stuck with plagiarize. I think more people understand
exactly. Half of the voters would have said, "Well, what's plagiarize? I don't know."
Right. Good on him.
That must be something educated people do. Actually, apparently, it is something educated people do because as AI has become more prevalent, I don't know if that's the exact word I'm looking for, but as AI has become more used, a lot of folks are going back and running the PhD dissertations of a lot of these supposedly, all these brilliant people among us and finding out, oh yeah, man, they ripped up we got plagiarists everywhere. A lot of these people pretended to be smart. No, they just copied somebody else's stuff from
it's like I said, the whole thing is with your girl Jean-Pierre. I mean, her most common answers, I'm not going to discuss that from here.
Man, that's a job.
Discuss that from here.
That's a job to have. Wait, you are the press secretary. I am pretty sure.
Yeah.
I am pretty sure that somewhere in the job description for that job
it says discussing that with the press.
I think you're kind of there to discuss. But hey, I don't know. So anyway, that's going to happen supposedly this Thursday. So God help us all. It's going to be, but they have Biden sequestered for 7 days.
For real?
7 flipping days, y'all. He's at Camp David, and the way they know that there's a no-fly zone over. So I guess I knew this, but wherever the president is in the United States, there's a declared no-fly zone wherever he is. So there is a no-fly zone over Camp David for 7 days. So I mean, that in itself tells you, like, what kind of what? Let's
Well,
play
I
this.
read it's a spin. I read something this morning that when somebody on CNN said that the whole muted mic is going to become could be problematic for Biden because that way Trump can sit there and lie for 90 seconds and Biden can't say anything to refute it. Here's one thing Biden won't say the whole time. I bet you don't hear the word out of his mouth, Bidenomics.
Think he's going to threaten to fight him? How about we just step on back? Well, I heard, and again, you just read prep. There was somebody I read the other day had a good line that whatever happens, whatever the question is, right, just whatever the point may be, the first thing that Trump ought to do is say, I just want to bring everybody back to the last time I was on stage with this guy, and you were told that this wasn't true, this wasn't true, this wasn't true. And we recently it's been proven time again that all of that stuff was. So basically, just call it out from the very beginning, saying everything that that was told to you has been proven now to be a lie. Tell us why you're going to believe stuff now. But again, that goes back to the Dave and Juan mantra for 3 years.
Exactly, man.
Yo,
everybody's lying.
They're all lying. Every single one of them. They're all lying. But that's going to be happening. So so good luck to those of you that choose to watch that. The fate of the free world in the balance.
Could be, who knows? Maybe the world will end Friday. It could be our last episode.
Well, let's hope that doesn't quite happen.
Nah,
I mean, did you see footage of, and it's just going around now, and if you don't, you probably see it, a Ukrainian soldier. I'm thinking it's a Ukrainian. I'm thinking could be Russian. They're not really clear on, but it's in obviously some battlefield somewhere, and looks like there's trenches and various things. And this dude is trying to run away. And I mean, this footage is clear as all get out. And he's being approached by a drone, a suicide drone. And what they're doing, or can do apparently, is they'll just fly that drone till it gets to you and blow it up. And this guy, man, I'll find the clip. It's everywhere. I'll send it to you. And you see this dude. Now again, I have no idea what this guy's story is. I have no idea if he's Ukrainian or if he's a Russian. I don't know what this guy did 15 minutes before this footage was. I don't know what the backstory is, but what I do see is an unarmed dude, and he's trying to run, and then he actually turns around and says a brief prayer before, and you flat out see it. You see the drone come into the guy, like tries to jump in a trench or lay down or do something, and that drone gets above him and blows up, and takes the dude out. Wow. And so the kind of footage they probably don't want people to see. Now, and again, I didn't think of this right off the bat, but some comments really jump at you. And one of them is, hey, how many of y'all know that a lot of that money we're not giving it, it's being taken from us. This is the kind of stuff we're paying for. And other people are saying, did I just watch a war crime? Like, yeah. You literally did.
You didn't not only watch it, you financed it.
You financed it. So you basically saw whether the Geneva Convention, I don't know, man. I don't know how the story, how that works. But you basically have a dude, unarmed dude, trying not to,
not to blow up.
Obviously no threat. He's got no gun. He's got nothing. He's just whatever. And yeah. And that's how sadistic we are now. We actually film it. And so that's what's happening. But on the bright side, because we're just all political, we're gonna have to talk about some crazy Couillon Cajun stuff before it's all over, just to cleanse the palate. But this is where we are today. I was just reading something a little while ago that some UN, so it must be true. Some UN dude came out and basically admitted, yeah, all that aid we send into Gaza, none of that stuff's getting through. No. Now it is
it's leaving here.
It's leaving here. Now part of what they said, again, it's true. It said, hey, guess what? It's a war zone. And as soon as that stuff shows up, it's gone, man. It's all the, the fighters. That's here's a little it's not history for you folks, but let's think this out. you have a population of unarmed, starving people living in rubble. You
Yeah.
have another group, heavily armed, and it's proven they enjoy killing people. Who you think's going to get the aid? Let a few trucks pull up. Who you think's unloading
Right,
those?
right. Well, that's always every time, what was it back in Africa years ago where they parachute the crates of food and stuff in there? And yeah, who's picking it up?
Things they never told you about We Are the World. Live, there's no lie, man. Like what was it? Live Aid,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Bob
yeah.
Geldof. Bob Geldof, who I think is probably 57% good dude and just a total D bag. The rest of them, but he's an arrogant guy. But all that stuff, and they all wanted us to believe that the famine across Africa was caused by drought.
Yeah, lack of food,
Yeah,
lack of food availability.
they wanted to make it sound like exactly like, oh, it was, and that wasn't the case at all. I mean, there may have been some, but it was purely man-made. It was
Well, it's that was going to be as much of a problem solver as they talk about the food deserts in North Baton Rouge. That if only they had a grocery store there, all the problems
hang
would
on.
be solved.
Man, I don't mean to laugh, but I just want to point something. I mean, but hey, shout out to Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge is getting noticed, all for all the wrong reasons.
Dude, 97 on the worst 100 places to live in the United States.
97 on the worst 100.
I
So
think
wait a minute.
New Orleans
Wait. Are you telling me there are 96 worse places?
3 of the other ones were in Louisiana. Well, not. Let's see. I think New Orleans came in at about 87, and Shreveport was either one below or one above Baton Rouge.
Well, I mean, I don't want to sound too.
And not be that those were the worst places for college graduates to get a job, I guess.
Oh, to get. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Duh. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. Unless you're good at casino gambling or
yeah.
card. I guess you get job dealing cards or.
Well, I'm gonna tie this all together. I was in Shreveport earlier this week for work for a couple of days.
Lucky
Me, lucky me. And the hotel we were staying, it was not a decent hotel, but it was on like Financial Avenue, and then there was right next to that Financial Circle. Maybe at some point in life, this was the financial district of Shreveport. Not now.
Not now, bro.
So
there's some stuff being financed.
Yeah, well, I went the girl that was my coworker that I was with, her brother lives in Shreveport. So the first night we got there, she took our rental car to go meet up with her brother for dinner, and she said, "Oh, you don't mind?" And I said, "No, I'm fine." It was a Waffle House next door. So,
okay, you went to She wasn't meeting her brother at a Waffle House.
No, so I walked to the Waffle House.
Wait. You, of your own volition,
dude, I love Waffle House
in Shreveport.
Well, I had no other place to eat.
You did.
So I walked to the Waffle House. It's still daylight.
Okay, that's a big point.
So there were one guy in there and 2 employees, and come to find out, the other guy in there was also an employee. He just wasn't working there at the time.
Got you.
So I sat up at the counter. I didn't want to take a whole booth or anything. But so then they're talking and talking about cleaning stuff. And then one of them said, "Oh, you got to use bleach and stuff, and I like the smell of bleach when it cleans." And so I chimed in. I said, "Well, if you get a bottle of Fabuloso, like the floor cleaner," I said, "just leave it open. It'll make your house smell like Fabuloso." And then one of them starts talking about
Fabuloso. I've heard
of dude. That's Fabuloso, man.
What is Fabuloso used for?
It's like a multi-purpose cleaner. You put that in your water when you mop.
Okay, Fabuloso. All right. I
Fabuloso.
know I've seen it. I just
Yeah,
wasn't
you
sure what
might
it
have
was.
thought it was fabulous, but it's
No, no,
Fabuloso.
no, no. I totally
Um,
got the name. I just wasn't sure what you used it for.
yeah, yeah. So, but then one of them says, well, if you put Fabuloso in a pot and boil it, then it'll make the house smell. Then another one says, oh, but if you boil it too long, it'll blow up. So yeah, I'm going back and forth with people I
So
would not otherwise have a conversation with.
yeah,
Then
did you
one of the
realize? Yeah, I mean how the world turns, right? You just suddenly you're sitting at a Waffle House. Basically, it sounded like you guys are discussing how to make meth.
wait,
Um,
wait. The cook guy comes up and he says, I learned how to make napalm on TikTok. And so now they're talking about how to make a napalm bomb in Waffle House. Um, so I then chimed in and said, let me tell you one thing. Y'all see that hotel next door? I'm there until Wednesday. You gonna blow anything up here? Wait till Wednesday.
wait, yeah, late
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday I'll be out there about 8.
Yeah.
8 a.m. You gonna blow up Waffle House, you knock yourself out, buddy.
There you go.
That's our generation. Learned how to make a napalm bomb on TikTok.
But it's just funny how what cover. Well, as soon as you chimed in, right? As soon as you kind of toss it out there and say, hey, I'm one of you.
What you got? What you got?
I know I look like an old white guy, but I am
Yeah.
one of you. And I'm not saying I didn't even know who these gentlemen were, what nationality, what
They,
race, what creed.
they weren't old white guys.
They weren't old white guys. Um, you threw out the Fabuloso, and hey, next thing you know, we're having a chemistry class.
Right. I'm eating my eggs.
Did he tell you how to make napalm?
No, I didn't want to know.
Didn't want
Didn't
to
want
know,
to know.
huh?
Plausible deniability, Dave. It's
Well, okay. Good to know as you had as you dined on Finance Street.
yeah, yeah, yeah. One side of my hotel was the Waffle House, and the other side was a store called Hustlers Hollywood.
Hustlers.
It's an adult novelty store and lingerie.
Oh man, I envy you. I get to do some travel one, but I don't typically get well, let me ask a couple of questions here, just because inquiring minds will want to know. Who booked the hotel?
Um, I guess my boss.
So was it a group
It
of
was in the
you
middle of the place. Like we were shooting video in a couple different places, and it was near there.
shooting
Uh,
video? So you're making commercials for
no, just I don't even know what you call it, more long format interview videos and stuff, branding type stuff.
okay.
So but yeah, but like so the first morning when I got up, yeah, I went to get my Dr. Pepper. You know, just in a little concession or the little, I don't know what you call it in the hotel where we had a little La Quinta. So I
Okay.
didn't have like a store or anything. Just pulled out the cooler, brought up, and they said, it's $3. And I said, but it's Dr. Pepper.
I don't care if it's
Yeah,
$7. I
yeah,
just,
yeah. Charge it to the room. I'm
yeah.
all right with that.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, it's 625 for a Wendy single. I heard that, so I'm not gonna complain too much about. It's so the La Quinta, huh? La Quinta, and
La Quinta Inn.
those of you who have time out there, man, pull it up on Google Maps. La Quinta
Yeah,
Inn
on like Financial Street or Financial Boulevard or something like that.
in Shreveport.
Right there in Shreveport.
Now, where does Shreveport rank as far as the
I
were
think
they
it's
on that top?
one lower than Baton Rouge. So it's a little worse than Baton Rouge. Not
Really?
much, but a little.
For
Well, we got we do have the state capital here, so
for college grads, okay. For
yeah, you can
college,
you get your state gig here.
okay. So that way they just little job service help for you guys out there. So those, but so what do you have any idea I mean, so Mississippi must just dominate the top 10 of places.
I didn't read. I just because the article I saw it said 3 in Louisiana.
Let me
So I
tell you, if
just
Louisiana's only got 3 of the top 100, that's not a bad report.
we only got like 4 other cities, or not even 4. Well, Lafayette didn't make it, so
Oh,
what else
so
would have made it?
so Lafayette is not one of the 100 worst
No,
places
no.
for. What about Thibodeau?
Thibodeau didn't make it. See,
There you
they're
go,
close
man.
to the oil sector. So
Shout out Thibodeau. Shout out Thibodeau. What about Gaines?
yeah, I think Matthews might have been on there, but yeah.
Yeah, we were talking. My sister, her husband, and their son just returned from Europe. They were in yeah, so they did a
The one that graduated?
yeah,
Your nephew?
yeah.
Dude, people go on some nice stuff, We went
Yeah.
to Pensacola.
Well, yeah. So it was
No,
well,
not
it wasn't
I
like
didn't go anywhere when I graduated from college.
college. I think. Oh, hang on. College was me, Raleigh, and Kurt went to. I think we went to Pensacola or Fort Walton Beach or something. But no, yeah, it wasn't. But anyway, they went to. So it was kind of funny because my sister, while we are not, we're not identical. Obviously, we're not the way we think, but apparently we're sort of. And she, I guess, knows how I think about a lot of things. But my mom, she check in texting every now and then. I guess they were there almost 2 weeks because you can't go to Europe.
Yeah, you can't go to Europe for like 3 days.
But my mom's checking in with her and she says, it's nice, it's beautiful, but this is too long. So she was probably like a week into it saying,
Your sister was saying it was too long?
yeah. She was like, yeah, no, I had enough. It's good. But she's been texting stuff and she says, and I don't know how to take that. She just basically says, yeah, Dave, she says, Dave would hate it. My wife, she says, Cindy would love it. Dave would hate it. I'm like, well,
See, I don't have a real interest in. I've never been to Europe.
Here's the deal, man. Look, so my wife has declared, now she has been, and she just declared, we're getting older now. So, I mean, I'm going to turn 60 about the time she turns. No, it's even longer than that because I think she says when she turns 60, she wants to go. She has a list of all the places, she wants to go in Europe. And the upside of that is, okay, that's still quite a bit away. I'm not going to give my wife's age, but that's not going to happen. That's not anytime soon. That's quite a bit away.
Yeah.
And I'll probably be dead. So I don't got to go. So maybe, hopefully it'll be like a very nice insurance paid for trip.
It'd be good.
That's a joke. I kind of make those jokes and she's like, there's something going on that you're not telling me about? No, I don't. I don't think I'm dying. I'm not planning on dying, but
maybe she'll kill you.
You ask, well, you never know if you're talking about that far in advance. But no, you're right. So listen, I've been to only 2 other countries. I've been to Canada and I've been to Mexico. Those of you that aren't very familiar with geography, look at a map.
North and south.
Pretty much, right? I've been to Hawaii. I've been across, not across an entire ocean, but I've been out there.
That's pretty far.
It's far enough. Okay. I've been in 46 of the 50 states. Okay. I have, and in some of those states, I can't even remember how many times. So, I mean, I like travel. This is to me, this is a big enough country. I don't have any burning desire, or I shouldn't say that. If there was a magic way that you could put me watching 20 minutes of a Wimbledon tennis match live, that'd be cool. If you could.
But you're going there for an event. I just don't have interest in seeing old buildings.
Well,
that in my mind don't look any different than they do in a book, on the internet, or on TV.
So, and people have different reasons, and you might be like, there are people that want to go and they want to go to Jerusalem. I get that. I mean, if it's
but
okay,
that's a pilgrimage, so to speak.
Exactly. So if that's your jam, go ahead. A lot of folks travel, I think, because they're bored, or they got to show that they can afford to travel. I think you get a lot of that. Dude, I promise you.
We're going to Costa Rica at the end of July, and I'm going to go see rainforest and stuff. But that's, Mostly, I'm gonna just chill on the beach and drink.
I could do that. You can do that in Galveston, which my wife would gladly do. I can't stand. I think I'm not a big, I'm not on that. But talking about people travel for the, I think if there wasn't social media, travel would go way down because I promise you, there are people that are only doing things so they can show you that they're doing,
Yeah.
right? 100%.
Now I have a nephew who's 34 years old, 35. He travels all over the place. That's the one. My sister and her husband, neither of them had ever been on a plane. And about a year and a half ago, I'm sure I talked about this. He took them to Italy
Oh,
for
cool.
2 weeks.
Cool.
About a month ago, he went to Greece by himself for 2 weeks. His luggage never made it there.
Yeah.
But he'll bop around, see stuff.
Yeah.
I rather do stuff.
And you know what? To each his own. Let it.
Yeah.
But I'm the same way. Old buildings, okay, nice. But this is the other thing too, man. We humans are so arrogant. I mean, so freaking arrogant. We're a blip. We're a blip. Even the stuff we consider ancient is a blip.
Yeah.
Right? There are trees older than some of these things that we consider, but I get it. I'm not but there's enough places here. And what's the other thing too? Besides like your Columbus crossing the ocean and the Vikings, and we have this romanticized, back in the day people would go to strange lands. For most of human existence, you basically lived and died in the same place.
Yeah.
Right? You're born, you might get around a little bit, and you die, and you hope that you didn't have Vikings or Columbus or somebody coming in to basically say, hey, this is ours now. Don't know if you knew this, but we got a flag and weapons. So sucks to be you, but this is how it works. Y'all gonna have to leave now. This is
Well, back to the origin of the story. Did your sister ultimately enjoy?
I think she did. I don't think she would go back.
What part were they in?
Okay, I know they went to Lourdes. They went to Versailles, I guess. They went to. This is terrible. I don't even know. She would send back stuff. I mean, they went to the Louvre because, which was kind
That's
of
in
funny.
France, right?
Yeah, and it's where the Mona Lisa is. So she said, but the crowds are just insane. This is what she said. She basically said David would lose his mind. Lose his mind with that. But so yeah, so they did but she also said she did not like the food at all.
Well, the reason my sister and her husband went to Italy is he's darn near as Cajun as I am, but his great grandparents or grandparents came from Italy.
Yep.
And so, he wanted to go to the quote unquote motherland. And she said when they went to all the restaurants and stuff, he found out he really wasn't Italian. Yeah, he didn't like any of that food.
Well, no, my father-in-law, that is the motherland. I mean, that's where he was. I mean, I think he was a property owner there for a while. I mean, I don't know how that, what played out, but yeah. So I could see doing that. My wife wants to do that. Like, okay, that's because she's been to the Vatican, and so I can see doing that. But we're not going to do a verbal. I guarantee you that we're not going to do. We're not going to play that game anymore. But yeah, what else is going on this week?
It's the start of summer.
Is it officially?
Yesterday, I think. Yeah, the 22nd. So Saturday was the first day.
Well,
it was about 9,000 degrees. Riley had a swim meet, so I'm out there all afternoon on concrete.
Ugh. I did something I not both on Friday because I was around, and yesterday, Saturday. I literally have not done in 5, 6, maybe longer years. I used to go to play tennis.
Nice.
Now
please go ahead and tell me that is now inspiring you to play. What's the game we hate? I don't know.
Pickleball, not a
Pickleball.
freaking chance. Not a freaking chance. But what it did remind me of or show me is that I'm old, and it's that disconnect of. So I hadn't played tennis, and the last time I was playing tennis, I was still playing pretty competitive. You know, a relatively high level against some guys that can play. And I used to play pretty much pain free.
I was about to say, how's your knees?
Oh, awful, terrible, horrific. Like, I couldn't believe how, and that's just what happened. You know, I didn't do it obviously playing tennis. I did it like running, and my knees went bad, and I just kind of figured, well, you know, I could probably still play a little. And I'll see, because I'm dumb. I go out on Friday, and my son came out there with me, and we knocked him around for a bit and moved. And I'm like, and you just realize as you get old, like you're not. Well, I never really was fast, and I got pretty good instincts, but I can't get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
Like my mind's there. Like, so you have to like retrain yourself. Like your mind can remember the last time you did something, and it's saying, "Go get it," and then your body or your legs go, "No, that ain't gonna happen." And I got no brakes. I can't stop. It's like it's the saddest old man thing in the world, man. If I build up a little bit of a head of steam, it takes me about as long to stop as it did to get there. I mean, so, but we did that on the Friday, and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of in pain, but I convinced myself that, you know, back in the old days, you just play through it, right? I mean, you know, you're a little stiff, you a little whatever, just play through it. I went out the next day. So yeah, how dumb you are when you haven't played in years and you get out there. Really, I don't even think I warmed up. I don't think I stretched. I
Well,
didn't,
because it's probably first day you're a little sore. The next day is when the pain really comes.
well, and I went out there and started playing again before it got, you know, and I could tell doing that, like, oh man, I'm feeling some twinges and some pains and some muscles that I have not thought about in a long time. Long time. I wouldn't even have known how many muscles I got in my butt, but I can count them right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, how in the world is my butt hurting? How it's, well,
I tried to do, and this is not any, I mean, this is years ago. I was like in my mid 30s when I tried to, do like Taekwondo again.
oh, dude.
And it's the whole thing is, your mind remembers the motion, your mind remembers what felt right. And it also says, I don't know what it is you're doing, but that ain't right. Then I always tell people, I said, I can remember the first time we're doing sit-ups. So, I had my little karate uniform on with a belt and everything. And I kept thinking I had the belt tied wrong. Couldn't figure out what was getting in my way of sit-ups. And that was my stomach.
Hey, man. It happens with time, dude. I'm like,
now walking up the stairs is sometimes a challenge.
Yeah. So, I played that second day. We went hard and I say hard, not by any stretch of the imagination.
Right, relatively speaking.
For the second day of trying to do this, and then when we finished, it was really, really hot. And I thought, you know what I need to do? I bet you if I cool off too quickly, it'll be bad. Because I'm just like, so we got back to the house, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk. Let me just go for a long, and I went for like a 45-minute hour walk. That probably wasn't a good idea either.
Man,
Man,
you got to cool down. I mean, I've never been good at that, but
no, last night,
give it some chances, man.
I know. Look, I didn't take anything. Well, I drank some beer and I grilled last night. So, I mean, you
probably need to hydrate well before.
I did. I mean, I hydrated as well as I know how to
before,
hydrate.
I mean, like starting now for next weekend.
Probably so. But, middle of the night, best I could describe it as, felt like I had a toothache in my knees. The kind of pain. Toothache pain is about the one kind of pain that people go, ooh, yeah,
it's throbbing,
debilitating. Not necessarily throbbing as much as just like make you cringe. Like, oh, I woke up.
But I think it's that kind of thing. Is your knee pain the same thing where it's like it stops hurting, or if you feel like you're getting a Charlie horse, and it's like, well, let me tighten up, see if it's gonna happen.
A little bit, Oh, but man, but part of me is just shrug and say, oh, okay. I used to look at old guys, and I am an old guy now, always thinking, you need to get in shape. That's what, and you realize after a point, you can sort of be in shape, But when crap starts breaking, it's breaking, bro.
No, that's that video shoot thing we went on. I've worked with this crew a couple times. The camera guy is 27, and he likes to talk about. Yeah, it's now that I'm older,
Now that I'm older.
and he throws that around. Let me tell you something, dude. I'm about to whip your young behind for saying now that you're older. Shut up.
Shut up. No. Well, hey, beats the alternative. We're still here, still doing it. Your dad's still jumping out of truck. I wouldn't jump out of a truck now.
No, I can't. You know.
No, I
if I'm on a step stool, they better be the ground, the lowest step better be pretty low to the ground.
I have, yes. I proved a lot to myself of the last couple of days. Not very good. These weren't positive things I learned, but I learned like, all right. I'm to the point now I see like video and I watch people running and I think, oh man, I'm a member when I could do that.
Dude, this is a couple years ago. I tried because my little neighborhood's got a little gym and stuff, and it's got one of those elliptical running things on it. So I could go on this. So, I'm not gonna be pounding, on concrete or anything.
Yeah.
Tried 3 steps to run. It's like, nah, this ain't happening.
Yeah. We'll get there. I'll see. I'll taking the day off today. I don't know. I didn't take any ibuprofen or anything. I'll see what I'll try not to medicate myself too much to see what what that takes. My wife would always be like, you got to put ice on stuff or this or that. And I'm just like, I'm too hard headed. I'm like an old freaking Cajun, man. I ain't putting
right.
If I'm bleeding, I'll probably put pressure on and may wrap it, right? But like a pull something,
that would be, and the pressure would just be to stop the blood so you don't mess up a good pair of
This
of
is
pants
true.
or something.
This is true. But and also I may have to join you, and I may have to actually join the HOA in one way, shape, or form, because we have a tennis committee apparently in our neighborhood. Screw those guys. Now that said, we've got so we got 5 tennis courts in our neighborhood, and they're very well kept up and they're great. But they've changed, and they do have pickleball stuff out there, but thankfully it's pushed to the side. So, but they've got pickleball lines on some of the courts, which is annoying as all get out. It takes, it's distracting to me. But so the 2 of the courts have, the keypad thing you have to use. Okay. But then in the really nice court that's near the lake, that's just a beautiful scenic area near the pool. Apparently that code is not enough. They got some kind of NASA looking thing out there. You need an app on your phone to open up the gate. Now I learned this last weekend when I'm trying to go to that court, and I'm like, crap, and I can't do it. So I have to email the company that monitors this nonsense.
The management company probably.
Okay. So then a little bit later on, I get like a day later or something, or after the weekend, right? Because heaven forbid, none of them work on the weekend. I get codes to a couple of the courts, and I'm like, well, okay, that's great, but the court I want to use, where's the key? Well, no, you need whatever. The tennis committee has to approve it.
I'm like, it as in you?
Yes. I'm like, you have no idea who I am. Nor do you want to learn who I am, because I will make it a point to make life miserable on, my next thing is to find out who's on the tennis committee. Anyway, and then they told me it could take up to 72 hours before they could get me.
Well, why would they let you in some and not that one?
Because people are choose.
That's just, that's for the special people.
Let me tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'll bet you they put a special lock on this one. This, I don't know if they spent extra money on it or what they did. And I guess the sugar mill, whoever the committee, whatever the management thing is, they don't. So anyway, so it's some of my idiot neighbors. I don't know. It's a pretty big neighborhood. I have no idea who the idiots are on the tennis committee. I'm gonna find out. And I sent that on Friday back to the management company saying, it's been 72 hours. Haven't heard anything. Not a happy guy right now. Because the other thing I could do is flat out go over there with some cutters, and I'll figure out a way to get onto that.
Hey, man, you got tools. You got old boards, and you could probably use a couple old boards to climb over the fence.
I am trying. And I'll pay. Again, and it's not as expensive as some, but we pay a good bit of money for maintenance and all this other crap around here. And you're locking me off my cards? A man and his tools may find a way.
I got called a liar on my neighborhood Facebook page the other day.
Did you know?
But the guy, I talked about him before, that he's raising three kind of hell because a vacant lot before you get to our neighborhood
That's right.
is overgrown. So on another post, somebody asked, they said, well, who do we call about, getting this cut? So I've commented just with the information. I said, appreciate it. More people that call, more likely, because it's a city that you got to deal with. And I said, people are calling now, so that'll help. And he basically responded, we don't believe that you called, Juan. I don't think one who's we. No, I didn't say anything. What I wanted to tell him, first of all, if you knew me, you'd know two things. One, I don't lie. Two, I could give a rat's behind about what you think.
That's right. But that's when you step away and say, I don't need to get it.
It's like I ain't playing with this.
This guy's got nothing better to do than argue with me on this kind of stuff. So,
I think the grass looks kind of like a rolling meadow. I think it's kind of nice.
It's an eye of the beholder, Juan. It's in the
Right.
eye
It's
of
better
the
than
beholder.
better than the homeless camps down the street.
Right. And while I got this here, I just want to put on the record here. The driver here in Sugar Land of the greenish gray Altima, Texas license TWT-7787. Don't know if it's her car or whatever. A young, I'm guessing teenage young lady. I hope they take you down before you hurt somebody. Dude, you ever been driving and it wasn't, I was coming back from, what was I coming back from? It wasn't church. It was somewhere. And you see a car driving and just cutting and stopping and just, it looks almost like a video game. They're driving so reckless and coming through like a neighborhood or something. And I just got in front of me. Like, I didn't think there was room to just literally driving this car like it's a video game. Like if you hit something, it don't count. Like enough to make me have to slam brakes. So it's like I'm just
in a neighborhood,
sort of a neighborhood that has, like two lanes going one way, two lanes.
It's got a boulevard, but it's still
correct. But it's in a neighborhood. We weren't on an interstate. We were going through a neighborhood,
a residential community.
Correct. And so, if just the way my body works, if my right foot is slamming brakes, my right hand is pounding horn. So
it's kind of like they're connected.
I'm gonna let you know that I did the work. I did the work here,
so you don't have to.
Not to hit your greenish gray Altima Texas license plate TWT-7787. So she's driving crazy, and I don't even know if there's somebody else in the car with her or not. So she's ahead of me driving crazy. Well, as it turns out, we come up to a light at the same time. And she kind of went away where she couldn't, she positioned herself that I really couldn't see into the car. But then as we turned, and this is several miles from my neighborhood. As we turned, she's turning the same way. And she's in another lane, and then I can see her, and she's behind, and she's cutting all around. And then she goes 2 lanes over, and I can see her flying by, and she looks over. We made eye contact. And she saw, I don't know if I looked menacing or what I looked, but I guess I did.
Crazy man's followed me.
I was ahead of her. I'm obviously not following her. But once she did that, it just happened. And again, she continues to drive recklessly, like coming up on stuff, changing lanes. I just, and this is what I'm thinking. Okay, where's my buddy from Berwick? Where's that kind of cop that, you got the couillons that sit behind a bush and they're nailing people for doing, 42 and a 30. Okay, where are the cops when you got a maniac out here? Well, she gets ahead and she's doing whatever. And it just so happened she gets on the same little highway and turns off toward my neighbor. She was apparently going to run the same area I was going. And then I guess she assumed that I was following her. So she got a little even crazier, trying to get away from me, apparently. And I was not trying to follow her.
And now you were.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
I didn't change a thing about what I was doing. I'm going home. But it just so happened, I guess she was, and then we get to a traffic circle, because there's a traffic circle not far from my home. And she ended up driving around the traffic. So that's when it became obvious that she was trying to lose me. Right. And I didn't get, I mean, I took my turn and then apparently she came behind me and then I realized, oh, I don't know who she's got with her. So this is bizarre. I'm not looking for this kind of.
Yeah, you're not looking to engage her.
No. And here's the deal. Yeah, I could care less. But you're just a terrible, dangerous driver. I saw almost 4 accidents caused by this moron. Then I started thinking, well, I don't know who else she's got with her in the car. So I mean, I ain't worried about some teenage girl driving like a maniac. But if she got some drunk or drugged up, I don't know who's with her. And when then I start doing my own thing. Now, do I have to drive by my house and not turn into my house in case? Right? No, I
It's
didn't.
always because I've done the stuff in my neighborhood where you pull over and tell somebody, hey, slow down, man. Where you think you're going? And then I realized I'm like 3 houses from mine. Not this idiot gonna see where I go.
Well, and I as I pulled into my street, I realized, you know what? And I had my gun in my car, so I'm like, this might be interesting. So I just got to get far enough into my house where I can get myself on camera. So if anything goes down, I can show.
You got your witness right there.
I can show proper control, and I didn't instigate anything. It's just sad, man.
No, it's not, dude. I was going to work the other day, and some dude's like zooming in and out, and it's on the cutting 3 lanes, cutting 2 lanes, back and forth, going down the interstate. And you sit down and say, well, it's 7:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
If you're late, passing up 5 cars isn't gonna make you not late, because I guarantee you in about another mile it's shutting down and you just gonna sit there like the rest of us.
No, I don't, it just but look, it's a big place. But back on the bayou, if somebody drove like a couillon chew like that, you know who that is?
All right.
You know where they live. You probably know what class they graduated with. Or right? You live in a big area.
Daddy is.
You live in a big area, getting bigger all the time. And unfortunately, they keep letting other people in. And I'm even talking about the legal people. I'm talking about the people with actual licenses on their cars. But anyway, what else going on here? Oh, hey, congrats, Louisiana. I saw this a little while ago.
Honor?
Louisiana became the first state that's going to allow judges to order the castration of child molesters.
Oh.
Shout out.
Right. Good.
That's one of those that is a delineator right there. Show me. I want the people that want to argue. There's certain things where you say, okay, let's see what side you fall on this.
Mm-hmm.
I would personally say I think death penalty is probably what needs to happen for that. Now let's talk about what we're talking about here. These are proven, convicted child molesters. That's a very negative thing to talk about, but hey, that's in the news.
Yeah, no second chance.
Louisiana. That's right. Louisiana says, man, bro, we can fix that for you. We can. You know what? Here's the good news. We're not going to kill you. Here's the bad news for you. You're not going to do that anymore. Or at least.
I think they should just do it with a rubber band.
Oh, well, okay.
You want to make it painful. No anesthetic or anything.
Yeah. But there you go. That's the news. So our boy Jeff Landry, he's making some. He's like saying, hey, let's check off some of these boxes. That one, and then Louisiana is the first state now that's going to put the 10 Commandments.
The 10 Commandments. I go back. Look, I'm all right with that. I think that's a bit of virtue signaling.
It's a little bit.
Because and I don't know. Somebody asked about it online the other day, and so my wife was commenting. And if you don't know, my wife's a teacher, and she's just saying that the problems with the kids aren't the kids, it's the parents. And putting up, if you have no discipline at home, putting up 10 commandments on the wall is not going,
right.
But again, it's a start.
Yeah. You can get into that debate. The same thing with people that want to argue it's separation of religion.
Well, that's not what separation of church and state was.
That's exactly. Thank you. Right. That's crap. It's total crap. It's not freedom from religion. Right. It's basically that nobody can force you to follow a specific.
Remember, here's where the United States Constitution and the Declaration of Independence was based on England. And in England, it was law. You had to be part of the Church of England. So that's what separation of church and state is.
There you go. Think of that. The more you know, America. Juan
Right.
here helping you with that. Did we talk about last week? I mentioned about and it wasn't my idea. I read somebody who's pretty good. Because apparently coming full circle here, apparently our 7 days in seclusion being drugged up to prepare for the debate president in one of his more recent speeches. Again, and it's not the first time he said this, he said it several times about all these people that think they need an AR-15. What good that's going to do you if you don't have F-15s? Okay, so he's basically saying, "Oh, what, you can overthrow the government? You know, the government has F-15, which are fighter planes, folks."
Right.
Okay, so the guy made the point. Let's review what the Second Amendment is. It's not about hunting. It's about
right. To stop you from doing
it's
what
about a
what
population being able to stop an unaccountable and aggressive.
right, right.
So
To
what he's
do what you
arguing,
just basically argued.
that's right. You're basically arguing we need to amp up. We need to own
Yeah, well,
16s or
good.
F-15s,
Let's
whatever.
go ahead and make it. Yeah, let's legalize the fighter jets.
Hey man, why can't I own a tank?
Yeah, we're giving them away to everybody else. Might as well give them
No
to
joke.
ourselves.
How they ought to do some of that. Like we left like $80 billion of that stuff over there. I mean, oh
Yeah,
well.
just give us one or two.
Anyway, so that's that's what's going on there. Other
The
thing,
government at work, people.
New York City, I didn't know they called them sheriffs, but apparently New York City does have sheriffs. I thought sheriff was a southern thing, and I don't know why.
I would assume it's
It's just it's a classification, I guess, of law enforcement,
but it's like the way it is here. The parish has a sheriff,
right?
and the city has a police force, a police chief. So I guess if there are some rural areas in the state of New York, which have got to be,
And the thing is, I can't hear sheriff without thinking of Jackie Gleason, and so when I hear
I
sheriff,
think Andy all the time.
yeah, so anyhow, the New York sheriff, whatever, has seized so much marijuana from illegal, unlicensed pot shops in New York City, they have no place to store it anymore. Right? No, it's so lovely that in a city that is being overrun,
Yeah,
right? Overrun, federally tax subsidized to overrun the place,
right. Nice hotels.
but they are busting like crazy unlicensed marijuana dispensaries, but they don't have, they've run out of place to put all the pot. So wonder if they can announce when they're gonna have a burn off.
Yeah, they'll send it out on a barge, leave the barge unattended for a while, and burn it.
You know, I bet you
Drop it in
Trump
the
had a
ocean.
good idea. I bet you Trump would have a good idea what to do with all that. So tell you what, let's take the top migrant fighter and the top UFC fighter, and
The winner gets it.
was that?
The winner gets it.
Or just have a no, at the event, we'll just burn all that excess marijuana. I don't know.
Yeah, could be like a bonfire after the event.
Gotta flesh that idea out a little bit more.
All right, we'll work that next week.
Work through that one. Let's see. Did we leave any stones unturned?
No, I don't think so.
Tennis injury. Call that out. Olympic tryouts are on.
Olympics, dude. We've been on at my house for a week.
Yep.
My daughter did top some of the girls' times.
Did she? Okay, that's
Yeah, not granted,
not the ones that won.
Correct, not the ones that won, just some of the ones in the trials.
There were people in the trial who were in the Olympic trials who your daughter has
her best times were better, and their best times are probably better than that as well. They might be downstairs now, a couple of her swim buddies. My daughter, they watched a little friend of theirs from New Orleans who swam, and but he didn't do well.
I think there's an Edie White. I think my wife showed me.
Yeah, there's a kid from Edie White.
There's a kid from Edie White in the nice.
Well, his parents live right by your mom's house because that's where I watched was that for the Mardi Gras parade last year. His parents' house.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yep.
Well, good luck to him if he hasn't swum already. I don't know.
The friend they have didn't do well, and so they were saying, "Oh, so did he come out last?" And I said, "No, you know who he beat? All of you people who didn't make it there. So stop."
That's right. Those of you watching on TV, he beat all of y'all. Beat all of y'all. That's great. All right. That's a positive note to say. Let's push the button. Get on out of here. See if any of this stuff stuck to the magic tape in the sky. Y'all, if you want to reach us, not that hard to do. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com and
right here.
Right here. I don't know
Not
where
at my
you're watching
house,
it.
Not at Dave's house.
Exactly. I don't know what you're watching. I don't know where you're listening. You might be standing you might be standing at a Shell station in Pascagoula, Mississippi, watching us on a gas pump screen.
Maybe you could be in that green whatever car that you had and watching it on your phone.
Yes. Yeah. Look, I don't want to. Well, I don't know if I should have given the license, but I don't know how you could do that. Can you have that traced?
Oh, you mean like could you call up and say who is
this? I would just want to
so.
send a note or somehow contact the owner of that car to say, hey, I know.
Then you get yourself in trouble there.
There you go. Well, wouldn't be the first time. So, hey, everybody, every week we tell you it's not a hint, suggestion, subtle implication. Y'all, it's a freaking
mandate.
The freaking mandate. Get out there and live your best life. Go for it. Things may be great. Things may be tough. Hey, look, man, I got pain in my legs, self-inflicted pain in my knees from trying to relive some tennis glory, y'all.
Look, if you got to seclude yourself for 7 days in a no-fly zone just to build up to the best day.
Trying to thread that needle. Do what you got. Please, whatever you do, don't take as many drugs as they're going to give Biden this week. Again, I will give a hat tip. Like we talk about, this guy's been fading. He's about checked out. I mean, it's you feel you want to call an elder alert phone number every time he pops up. But if he survives everything they're injecting him with this week,
whoever the doctor is, that guy's a scientist, man.
And we always must trust the science.
Exactly.
Trust the science, y'all. All right. Hey, we wish all of you a fantastic week. We will gather around and try to do this again next week. Until then, have a great one. Love you, bro.
Back at you, man. Yesterday at the swim meet, so my dad's there, and we go. It's literally, it's got to feel like 1,000 degrees out there. So they got a little trailer selling water and snowballs and stuff. And so, me and my dad go to buy a snowball. And little girl selling snowball has a tips cup there. So, my dad, not a tipper, but to make his comment, he put $1 in there, and he said, "Nah." He said, "Are those your tips?" And she said, "Uh-huh." And he said, "Well, you need to vote for Trump so you can keep them all." And I said, "Stop it, Daddy." And she said, "Well, I'm voting for the Green Party candidate."
No, she didn't.
Oh, yeah. I said, "All right, well, never mind. Forget it. I hope you lose all your tips. Give me that $1 back."
That's when you say I'm dyslexic and spit.
It's over. Go home.